Hi guys, I'm making some hair for the ragdolls that I make, and they're for children that don't have Christmas presents. So I'm making a nice early start. Right then, I've got this huge ball of wool. Isn't that nice? Found it in a charity shop. And then we have a good size book that's going to give us a good length. And as it's stopped to fill, it reminds you to get on with stuff. That's always useful, isn't it? So, you sit for ages and ages, wrapping the ball round and round, and round and round. I've got some green wool as well. I'm going to do a little punk rocker for a little boy, and he's going to have a green mowie, like a mohawk. It was always one of my favourite haircuts to do when it was in fashion. So that's how long ago it was. Right, so we've gone round and round and round. It doesn't really matter if it's not wide enough, because you can actually spread it out quite easily. So now, hairdresser must trim the hair. In we go. I hope you don't mind, Dr. Phil, but no, I can't get in there. I'll go in that way. And just cut it in half. Lovely. I'll get you out the way, half made. Right, I've got the machine set on a straight stitch. And I'm going to bring the length down quite small actually. Let's say 1.5 or something. Halfway on this, I've got a nice little... I've got a ruler on my table there, you see. So I can measure what halfway is. Okay. So we're on 9.5 inches, maybe just under 10, so about 5 is halfway. So I've got my eye on where the 5 is. I'm going to start by just pulling my threads a little bit. Just a little bit of tension just to help it along its way. Right, so in it starts. Keep it flat down with your hands. It will spread out naturally, which is quite useful actually, because you don't want it too thick on the head, because it will get too bulky. So it sort of draws itself down, because there's feed dogs under here and they're drawing the wool through. And I just keep my hands on it just to have a little bit of control. They're not on there tight. You see, it stops those threads going up over these little teethy bits on the feet. There, you can see them. I can't turn the light out. Sheen stops working. Right, so go along, go along, go along. Having a very jolly time. And the weather's cold outside, so it's not worth doing anything. I continued stitching as it went through, because it creates almost like a little knot, because the threads are going round and round. And it will do that for you for a while. Just pull it through. So there I am. And that's not coming undone now, you see, because they call it sort of chaining and chaining off, or chain piecing, or overlock as they call it, chaining off. When you pull it through and you get a nice little chain. So I'm now going to put it on a zigzag, and I think it's a 4 on this machine. So you just press your number 4 in there, and it says zigzag. I want it really narrow. This zigzag bit means the width. So probably a 2. And the stitch length I'm going to bring down as well. I'm going to put it on one and no, maybe two. We'll see how far that goes. Right. If you think it's too wide, too narrow, you can just adjust it as you're going along. I've started putting the hair on. You don't put it too down. That's the neck of the dolly. You don't put it too far down there. Because if you think about it, all you've got at the back of your hair is neck hair here. So it goes up quite a way, really, up your neck. So don't have it too low down here. Otherwise, the doll is going to look like she's got hair growing out of her neck. And that is just a little bit too weird. So, glasses off. Can't see a blooming thing. Got my hair. And I'm still keeping it flat like that. And that actually looks like it's a perfect length for me. So I'm going to stitch it. So it's approximately 3/8 of an inch away from the last lot of hair. So it's about here. Because what I want the foot to do is to sort of butt up to that hair so it's not too bulky. And just stitch along nicely without it getting bulky and it'll flip your stitches off the side, and we just want an easy life. So, oh, I need that. Foot back on. Put your hair down. And please keep in mind, this doesn't hurt. So, put your thread under your foot. Put your foot down. And you can feel it butting up against the next piece. If it's a little bit long, you can just shove it in as it's going along. If there's a big gap in the middle, because you've done one lot and then another because perhaps it wasn't wide enough, you just scrunch it up. You can actually make it move as you want. Now what I'm doing it zigzag. And I'm doing it over the original line of thread. I'm using a pink thread here against the white hair, just so I can see what I'm doing a little bit more easily. You don't actually see these stitches. Once the hair's in and once the head's on, it is quite difficult to see them, so it's alright if it's not exactly the same colour. And it is, after all, just a little rag doll for a kiddie. It's not going in any competitions. And if you make it with enough love, then it shows. Right, it's starting to creep towards, too far towards the edge, so I'll just lift it a bit, push it back, and now I've just taken control of it again. I'm going to turn it round because I wasn't quite over my stitch line, but it's tucked in place, and just do it again. And that's all you have to do, really. If you think you haven't quite got it in place, just turn it round, do it again. Doesn't matter. Stick my threads off nicely. Take that away from the light. I'll just turn that off. That's better. So you can see that was your last lot. No, you can't see. There it is. There's a line there where my finger is. That's it. And here's your next lot. And it's going to be a layered haircut. It won't stay like that. You see there's a step in it. I don't want it as long as the first one I did, because I'm going to run out of wool. So all you have to do, really, when you finished it, is just hold it this way and just trim any of the longer bits. Once it's at a nice angle there, and it's going to be a nice layered haircut. I often layer mine like that. I just tip my head upside down and hold on to my hair, even with my dressmaking scissors. They're micro serrated, they're seriously sharp, and they're good enough to cut my hair. So, because I can't sit in the chair properly and have it cut, that's what I do. Upside down haircut. So there we go. That's how you attach your hair to Dolly's head. And I know you're all going to be racing and itching to make one. But just remember that they are for children who haven't got Christmas presents. And what I plan to do, because it is my own pattern after I made Jodie one, what I plan to do is just put the pattern in the comments somewhere. And I'm going to see if I can try and group all these together, because I plan on doing the whole dolly, so you can see how it's done. So it's going to be easy for you. See, I've even got darts in the back of the head, which shapes it round nicely. I'm sort of used to the shape of people's heads after 38 years of hairdressing and beauty. So, here endeth your first lesson of hairdressing with wool. It's very nice. Anyway, I'll see you all soon. I'm going to do your sewing machine basics. I am going to get round to it. It was requested. So I am going to do that. And it's all going to be about threading your machine. Some of they always tell you to lift your presser foot up. And they don't tell you why. It's all to do with these tension discs in here, which stop when you put your foot down, your thread being thrown into there. And if you forget to put your foot up when you thread it, well, I'm nearly doing it now, and your thread doesn't go in there, just thread it as it tells you to. Then when the needle's going up and down rapidly, the thread's just being yanked without having any control over it. It's like a pair of cymbals in there. And then it just creates a great big knot. But I'll show you that one on the old mechanical machine. Because if I get a great big knot in the bottom, down here, it's very difficult to take it all apart. You can only take the top off. I can't take the whole thing apart. So I'll do that soon as well. Anyway, hope you're all enjoying sunshine, somewhere nice and warm and exotic like Hawaii. You can send for me any time to come and give you private lessons. Of course, I will be there in a shot. So, just send the ticket, send the jet, anything like that. And yeah, I'll be there. All right, love you lots. Get sewing soon. I want you sewing. Goodbye, love you. Oh, that's to my nieces and nephews. And if anybody else is watching, I love you as well. Goodbye. Look out for Dr. Phil, he's genius.